Hello, my name is Helen Thornley and I'm a Technical Officer with the ATT. In this video, I'm going to talk through the top 5 expenses that you might have to pay as an employee and how to get tax relief if your employer has not contributed to these costs. These areas can be surprisingly complex, so it's impossible to cover all the detail in a few short minutes. Instead, we will highlight some key areas which might be relevant to you. This video is intended as information and does not constitute advice. It's based on the tax rules as at June 2023. If, after watching this video, you want specific advice on your own situation, you should seek independent professional advice or consult the gov.uk website. One of the most common employee expenses is for business travel. If you are using your own car for work, then your employer will often reimburse you based on the number of miles you have travelled for business purposes. If they don't, then you may be able to claim tax relief. If you want to claim for business miles, it's really important to keep a record of all your business travel and what, if anything, your employer has paid towards it. Business travel includes trips such as travel from your office or place of work to visit your customers using your own car, motorbike, bicycle or van. It can cover travel from home to a temporary workplace and also itinerant travel. For example, this might apply if you are a service engineer and move from place to place during the day. You cannot generally claim tax relief for the expense of ordinary commuting, that is, travel between your home and permanent place of work. To reimburse business travel, most employers will use HMRC approved rates. The current rates for cars are 45 pence a mile for the first 10,000 business miles and 25 pence per mile after. The rates are lower for motorcycles or bicycles. If you already get reimbursed for business rates at these approved rates, then you can't claim any more tax relief for business travel, even if your car costs more to run. However, if your employer won't reimburse your business mileage cost or doesn't pay the full approved HMRC rates, then you may be able to claim tax relief from HMRC. So for example, if your employer asks you to attend a training course and you have to drive 100 miles in your car to do so, your employer could reimburse you up to £45 tax-free, using the 45p a mile limit. But if they only reimburse you at 25 pence a mile, so you get £25 from the trip, you can then claim tax relief on the difference of £20 from HMRC. It's important to understand that such a claim doesn't mean that you will get £20 back from HMRC. If your claim is accepted, you will get a percentage of it back, depending on your tax rate. For a basic rate taxpayer, this could result in a tax refund of £4. For a higher rate taxpayer, this would be £8. If you have a professional qualification and you're required to pay professional membership fees to do your job, or you choose to pay an annual subscription to a professional body which is relevant to your work, then you can claim tax relief on that cost, subject to 2 conditions. The first condition is that your employer has not already either paid or reimbursed you for these costs. The second is that your professional organisation must be on an approved HMRC list. The list is very long and it runs from the Association of Taxation Technicians to the Zoological Society of London. A link to this list can be found below in the video description. Because you can claim for up to the last 4 tax years, if you have never previously claimed relief for your subscriptions, you could get quite a sizable refund on your first claim. For some jobs, such as hairdressing or manual trades, it is traditional for employees to provide and use their own hand tools and small items of equipment. For example, hairdressers typically provide their own scissors, chefs their own knives, and joiners their own woodworking tools. HMRC differentiates between small tools, which might typically last a couple of years or less before they need replacing, and more substantial items like toolboxes, which you might want to keep for many years. For small tools, if you're required or expected to provide such tools to carry out your work, then you can claim tax relief on the cost of repairing or replacing them, but you can't usually claim tax relief for the initial purchase cost. For larger items, which you may keep many years, it's much harder to get relief, as generally your employer would be expected to provide such items. However, if you can show that you were required to purchase the item for your work, you use it in your work, and the personal use of the item is insignificant, then you may be able to claim relief through a mechanism called capital allowances. Again, it's important to keep records of the amounts that you have spent and copies of invoices or receipts for any tools you buy. Most of the time, you can't get tax relief on the cost of clothing you wear for work, because you're not just wearing clothes to do your job, but also because you need to keep warm and decent. However, if you're required to wear a uniform and you pay for that yourself, then you may be able to get tax relief on the costs of the uniform. This is a complex area, as not all the items you might buy will count as uniform. For example, if you're required to buy a plain white shirt or blouse and a navy jacket with the company logo on, while the jacket might count as uniform, the shirt or blouse won't, as you could wear it outside work. Whether you have bought or been provided with a uniform, you can also get tax relief on the cost of replacing, washing or cleaning it, if you have to pay those costs yourself. One of the simplest ways to do this is to claim flat rate expenses. When it comes to small tools and uniform cost, sometimes actual costs you have incurred can be hard to work out, particularly for cleaning costs, as you need to work out the cost of running your washing machine. To make it easier, HMRC has a system of flat rate expenses. Depending on the industry you work in and the job you do, you may be able to claim relief on fixed flat rate expenses to cover the costs of cleaning special work clothes or uniforms or replacing small tools. A list of the flat rate allowances and all the eligible jobs are available on HMRC's website. For example, a nurse could be entitled to a flat rate allowance of £125 a year if they had to clean their own uniform, plus £18 for shoes and tights if they were required to wear a specific style of footwear. This would give a total claim of £143. For a basic rate taxpayer, this would be worth tax relief at 20%, £28.60 every year that these costs are incurred. If you can't find your occupation on the list, but are incurring costs of maintaining and laundering a uniform or providing small tools, you can claim a flat rate allowance of £60 a year. This could be worth £12 a year for a basic rate taxpayer, or £24 for a higher rate one. You can only make a claim if you're actually incurring costs of cleaning or replacing items. If your employer reimburses you for these costs already, or provides cleaning facilities which you have chosen not to use, then you can't claim any further relief. If you think you are eligible to make a claim for employment expenses, there are 4 main ways to claim. Online via gov.uk, by post via a form called a P87, by phone, or if you're registered for self-assessment through your tax return. Details of all the claim routes can be found from the link on the slide, which will also be in the description beneath the video. In general, the online portal on gov.uk is the best route to make a claim for your expenses, as the system will guide you through the process. It's also the best way to make a claim for more than 1 year. Any claims need to be made within 4 years of the end of the tax year, so to make a claim for the 22-23 tax year, you need to act by the 5th of April 2027.